minute, sorry. Yo. Running late. Morning, everybody. We have today's Tariff Eve. Tariff Eve, or some people like to call it April Fool's Day, you know. Trump said he's figured out the tariffs, but he hasn't. He's not telling anyone yet. Morning. Liberation Day. That is what they're deeming it. Ironic. Yeah, literally. I heard Trump specifically saying, he's like, I can't do it April 1st. I want to, but people say it's no. I'm like, I could see Trump wanting to do something on April 1st and like no one knowing if it's serious or not. Funny. Tomorrow will be Tariff Day. Excuse me. Tariff day. Okay, we actually have some interesting news. OpenAI raised $40 billion. Like, the fact that a company is raising $40 billion, like people are giving them $40 billion like cash, you know, like that is so much money. And it's led by SoftBank, Masayoshi-san. I don't know, this is just crazy. So we've got that. We might take a look at this. This is a long article. Or not that long, I guess. No, I want to take a look at Intel. Intel. Pat Gelsinger is gone. Lip-Boo. What's his name? Lip-Boo Tan is in. So we're gonna cover. Oh, don't tell me they like cycled it out. We're gonna cover what his new plan is. Because Intel's been having some problems. Get another source on this one. Yeah, here we go. Get another source on this too. If it's we'll get a Market Watch here if we can read it, or Wall Street Journal. I don't want to read all Wall Street Journal today. I'm just waiting for the day. I have a feeling eventually, so like one of these news outlets, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, is gonna like DMCA me for like reading their paywalled content on stream. Fair use. All right, let's start with OpenAI. OpenAI closes $40 billion funding round, largest private tech deal on record. Now, I hope that they like they don't. There's bro, what is this bar here? Like, fix your website. I wanted to see them like rank all of the largest private tech deals on record. For a while, it was actually held by this company, Win First, who raised $1 billion. Win First Internet, now defunct, was based here in Sacramento, had headquarters at the old Air Force base, at the guard base. Yes, this 2000. Look at, they cut yeah, they raised this is year 2000. They raised $450 million. This is like, you know, way before this is like .com bubble, before like money was a lot. Yeah, Sacramento's the first city. But at the time, this company they held the record for a long time for the most money raised by like a startup. I had somewhere about how much they raised, but it's... Yes, here we go. Okay, this is a $800 million deal they signed. Look at, bro, this is crazy. According to the part, this is, what year is this? This is 2000. Optical, this is like fiber. This is when fiber to the home was like they literally were doing fiber to the home in 2000. Most people today don't even have fiber. Yeah, WinFirst says its service will be 65 times faster than typical 1.5 megabit high-speed connections that are currently offered. This was crazy. Yeah, it's Yeah, each home using a dedicated fiber optic cable and equipment with lasers to send and receive information using the internet protocol, IP, and fast Ethernet. Fast Ethernet, that's 100 megabytes. This is like Cat 2. But it was 100 up. Imagine having 100 upload back then. That's what I'm saying. It's like they were way ahead of their time. Using a single optical link, WinFirst customers will have the capacity to simultaneously download a movie, view a sporting event from a website, stream a digital home video to someone else over the web, and hold multiple phone calls. Bro. This type of speed will enable users to download a movie in 8 minutes or an entire album MP3 song in about 5 seconds. A process that would take 8 hours in 5 minutes. Yeah, and having the same bandwidth both upstream and downstream will enable users to share files directly with each other through true peer-to-peer networking. This is like, yeah, they were so ahead of their times. Unfortunately, they expanded too fast, had too much capital expenditure, infrastructure cost, and filed for bankruptcy. And they got sold for $10 million about. They sold to Sure West, who now has been absorbed by some other. They sold to Sure West for like $10 million after raising almost $1 billion. Like that's crazy. Yeah, Consolidated Communications bought out Sure West, and I think Consolidated is still around. This is such a big side tangent, but I want to see how much money they raised. Bro, the old satellite TV, like internet days, like the good old days. This is not who I was looking at. Anyways, so OpenAI now, they raised $40 billion, the new emerging technology. They announced that it closed what amounts to the largest private tech funding round on record. And we've kind of been seeing, like we talked about previously, about how startups are now raising money a lot later on. They're doing more funding rounds instead of going public or like listing on the stock market, which would usually, like, you know, raise them a lot of money selling their shares. But it comes with other problems, and it seems like tech companies don't want to have to deal with that, and I don't blame them. But when you're this big, like, you need like so much money. I feel like going public doesn't even matter, and also like they don't make money, and so like that wouldn't really help that much, as we've seen with CoreWeave. We're gonna do a CoreWeave check-in every week. I need like a segment. CoreWeave stock. Brave doesn't have it yet. Oh, it's up today. Oh no, that's not it. Chewy? CRWV. Is that what that's CRWV. Yeah, it's CoreWeave. They break even? Sometimes, like... Okay. Up 17% to 43. Why? Like, what? Can you see? Okay. Like, this seems so suspicious. Like, on a fucking Tuesday, it just peaked 17%, and it happens to be above the buy, like, their IPO price. meanwhile they were down. That's so weird. Like what? I don't know. I don't trust CoreWeave now. Like after their like whole debt thing, and like I just don't trust them as a company. I think their financials are weird. Like they lost my trust. So now to me this is suspicious. I don't know. This is weird. Okay. But OpenAI is gonna, I think they signed a deal with CoreWeave. Maybe that's why, actually. That's why they're up today. OpenAI raised a bunch of money, which is probably going to go to CoreWeave. You know, some of that is like, I think they signed an $11 billion deal. Or like, it's like $15 billion over like 4 or 5 years or something. Okay, the $40 billion financing value of ChatGPT Maker at $300 billion. Okay, they're worth now. They're worth. The market thinks that the private market thinks that they're worth $300 billion. Like, I just want to. I almost want to like just look at other companies to see how like who they're worth more now than. Because I think this is kind of crazy. It's nearly 3 times the largest amount previously raised by a private tech company, according to PitchBook. The valuation puts OpenAI behind only SpaceX. Literally SpaceX, who is the leading, space company. They've done like, hundreds of launches. They do like hundreds per year. They come late, like, think about SpaceX, and then it's crazy to think that just under them is OpenAI. And even with TikTok parent ByteDance among the world's most richly valued private companies. Like, they're up there with TikTok. At least with TikTok, like, advertisers are clearly, getting their money's worth. Like, they value that. It's crazy what OpenAI has become now. Japan's SoftBank is leading the round with $30 billion. Now, mind you, SoftBank, hang on, we'll finish this, and is joined by a syndicate of other backers, including core investor Microsoft. Well, Microsoft is still in, as well as Coatue, Altimer, and Thrive. Yes, and SoftBank is putting up the money for Stargate, which OpenAI will operationally run, or at least be involved in. In that, they said they're going to invest $500 billion, which SoftBank doesn't even have the money. And with Oracle, and Oracle's already started building it, but SoftBank doesn't even have the money yet. And here they are with $30 billion. And it's like, where'd they get this money from? Like, SoftBank, I don't know if they're liquid $30 billion, like. And is joined by a syndicate of other backers, including OpenAI said it plans to use the fresh capital to push the frontiers of AI research even further. No, I think that this is what I think. Sam Altman. Okay, Sam Altman. Can you chill on generating images? This is insane. Our team needs sleep. And then he's like, he keeps going. He's like, okay, seriously. In other words, they just need money because they can't afford the shit that they're doing right now with all this. Image generation uses so much GPU space compared to text generation. That's the problem. We're getting things under control, but you should expect new releases from OpenAI to be delayed, stuff to break, for services to sometimes be showed as we deal with capacity challenges. Literally. We're working as fast as we can to get stuff humming. If anyone has GPU capacity in the 100K chunks we can get ASAP, please call. No, that is why they need the money. This was 46 minutes ago, hot off the press. OpenAI said it plans to, About 18 billion of the funding is expected to be used for OpenAI's commitment to Stargate. The fact that OpenAI has to raise money to commit to something that they've already committed to, and that they didn't have the money for, that seems weird. I guess it's probably normal business, but it's like, again, Masayoshi Son and SoftBank are just fronting the cost still. He spoke anonymously due to confidential nature of the term deal. Okay, yeah. The joint venture between SoftBank and OpenAI and Oracle was announced by President Trump in January. The initial funding will be $10 billion, followed by the remaining $30 billion by the end of 2025. But the round comes... Okay, so they don't actually have... They only have $10 billion, and the other 30 is going to come by the end of the year. Okay. The round comes with a caveat. SoftBank said in an update disclosure on Monday that its total investment could be slashed to as low as $20 billion if OpenAI doesn't restructure into a for-profit entity by December 31st. Holy shit, what a conundrum. Shit. The provision ramps up pressure on OpenAI to pull off the for-profit conversion, a plan that will need the blessing of Microsoft and the California Attorney General, and has been challenged in court by Elon Musk, who was one of the co-founders of OpenAI in 2015 when it was started as a nonprofit research lab. The company's current and unusual hybrid structure includes a capped profit limited partnership created in 2019. The original nonprofit is the controlling shareholder that would be spun out as an independent entity if the company can restructure. OpenAI's venture backers have received convertible notes that would turn into equity. I see, okay. Alright, the largest private... Oh, they do talk about it. The largest private deal before OpenAI's round was Ant Group's $14 billion raise in 2018. Ant Group, I think, was, they're, the Chinese, like, Jack Ma's group, right? Like Alibaba. Yeah, Alibaba. Affiliate of the, that group. Dang, they have a lot of employees. After that, it was Jewel Labs. Bro, that's crazy. Jewel fucking raised that much money. I guess it worked. Like, it's a fucking... It worked, I guess. DD Global's $10 billion round the following year. Never heard of DD Global. According to PitchBook. Then comes Databricks. Yeah, Databricks recently did this. $10 billion round in December, and OpenAI's own $10 billion round in 2023. SoftBank and other investors are betting that ChatGPT's explosive growth can continue. OpenAI said Monday that ChatGPT now has 500 million weekly users, up from 400 million last month. OpenAI also expects revenue will triple to 12.7 billion by the end of this year. That's crazy. They have 500 million weekly active users. I also think this really shows how people are actually adopting it. Like, whether you're using it for entertainment or like to actually be useful, 500 million weekly users is like mass adoption level, you know? And sometimes I think, you know, like I need to step back to realize like how small some corners on the internet are, because like those, like, I guess mainly I'm talking about like the anti-AI people. Like, at this point they're in the minority, I feel like. Maybe not, but I don't know. I guess if you're like super anti-AI right now, like it's gonna, I feel like it's gonna get kind of harder. That's why it's about compromise. CEO Sam Altman wrote Monday on in a post on X that though the ChatGPT launch was one of the craziest viral moments I'd ever seen, and we added 1 million users in 5 days, the company added 1 million users in the last hour. Holy shit! Yeah, I resubscribed to ChatGPT just for the image thing. I know I say I hate OpenAI, but fuck, they got me. And it's cool. it definitely takes some tweaking. Like, it's not like it just rips it good off the bat. But it's definitely like it could do text like no problem. Actually, I was gonna share a picture, but it's actually a picture of like the interior of my apartment, so I don't want to share it. But it's definitely like way better. Actually, I could share this. Like here, actually, this is related, Austin. I asked it to. I wanted to see if it could generate a Minecraft skin, and it technically did, but it didn't generate it in the way I thought. But for example, it made this, just ripped it, and I was like, bro, this. It looks like someone made it and then modeled this. Like, it looks just like someone would make it. I was like, holy shit. Now, unfortunately, I don't like. You can't use this, but the fact that it was able to do that, it was like, oh, you're right. Yeah, if I feed it in an example, yeah, you're right. And then I was like, make a military sci-fi aesthetic of a train logistics system on the planet. Jew Prime transporting interstellar drugs. Which I used Midjourney a lot before, and Midjourney had a lot of problems generating trains. I don't know why, but like it makes them like stubby like this. But Jew Prime, I don't know, I just made it up. And then I was like, can you adjust it to the style of 90s anime? I don't want the people, just the train. Also make it more of an aerial view. It didn't really do it, but it did change it to like 90s anime kind of style. But I think it's like that's funny. I didn't get where you go. I was like, huh? Like, did it mean something? It seems like really you need to feed in an image and then it could like reskin it. That's what everyone else has kind of been doing. But it's pretty good. I don't know. Like, this is okay, but I think if you give it better descriptions and such, it'll be better. But like, look at the text. It made the text right here like no problem, and even in like different fonts. And on the train, like, I think like that is a big step up, if nothing else. And now it's available to free users. I think you get like 3 free a day. But if you wanna, I could generate anything. Okay. The generative artificial intelligence market is poised to top $1 trillion in revenue within a decade. I need this. Where's the source on this? Okay, Bloomberg. We'll look at this later, actually. I'm gonna look at some report today, so we might look at that at the end. Companies from Google and Amazon to Anthropic and Perplexity are racing to announce new products and features, especially as the race to build AI agents intensifies. Yeah, the agents discourse kind of got a little. We're in a bit of a dip, I feel like, because none of the big people besides, I guess, like OpenAI and Anthropic have like really released like general purpose agent stuff. A lot of it is still developer things. There hasn't really been like products, like consumer products that are like AI agent based, I guess. Oh, also I got into the Amazon Nova web browser thing. They emailed me, but it doesn't work on Windows. Only Mac and Linux. So I was like, fuck me. So I can't even use that. The web browser, the like computer use thing. So I was like, all right, when they open that up, I'll give it a try. OpenAI last week announced some key changes in the C-suite, with Altman shifting his focus away from day-to-day operations and focusing more on research and product. This is what I feel like a lot of like founder CEO types do, because I think they realize that like, bro, I don't like running the company's kind of boring. Like, I want to like focus on like building and making stuff. That's kind of like, I feel like what Elon Musk does too, like where he's like more of like the visionary and like, you know, takes on like the ideas and research and like what to build, and not necessarily like running day-to-day operations. I think with Tesla he did that, but like SpaceX, I think it's more of like a engineer visionary kind of role. Operating Chief Brad Lightcap's role will expand to oversee business and day-to-day operations. OpenAI's fundraising comes just after CoreWeave became a first pure-play AI company to make its public debut, though it's been a tough start. After slashing its initial public offering price, the stock was unchanged in its first day on the market on Friday and fell more than 7% on Monday. Mark Klein, CEO of Suru Capital and an investor in OpenAI, told investors on his firm's earnings call earlier this month that the next wave of anticipated IPOs in his portfolio included, at some point in time, OpenAI. Dang. Yeah, I mean, you can't keep raising $40 billion. Like, you're gonna have to go public, or you're just gonna have to like sell the company. Dang, so this is crazy. $40 billion. Is this, it's like, sometimes it's like, will the economy see this $40 billion in like a meaningful way? Like, will this actually disperse and like, have a big economic impact? Unfortunately, I feel like most of this money is just going to go to big tech. Like, if OpenAI isn't big tech already, but like, or the data center, it's like, it's just gonna, like, unfortunately, it's going into this like ecosystem where it's like, no one really sees this money. The economic impact this $40 billion has, I feel like, is going to be very minimal, because it's going to go to like data center. It's going to go to NVIDIA. It's going to go to obviously salaries and like jobs, but like, that's like a tiny portion of this $40 billion. And it's just going to kind of keep in this ecosystem of, it's going to go to Microsoft, it's going to go to Oracle, it's going to go to, these big tech companies. And then it just kind of like stays like up here versus like most economic stuff is like down here. But it's like just going in loops up here where it's like Microsoft gives them money. OpenAI then gives them 49% back. Then Microsoft is like, okay, here, you could use our data centers. And then that money, it's like... So I think that's the unfortunate part, but I guess if AI is supposed to make us live forever, then it'll be a worthwhile investment. Depending on who you ask. Okay. How is SoftBank funding its mega investment in OpenAI? A lot of debt. Bro, Masayoshi Son is a gambling man. He held the record for a long time for the most amount of money ever lost, only beaten by Elon Musk. And so he holds the record for this for losing the second most amount of money ever. So he's a gambling man. Global tech investor SoftBank Group is turning into a familiar tool to fund its $40 billion investment in ChatGPT maker OpenAI late Monday. Debt. And I cannot, taking on debt to like do this just seems insane. It seems like such a big bet. And it's expensive. Especially right now, like Japanese yen is like the price has been going up. I read this thing or watched a video or something where it's like people would go to Japan, use dollars to convert to yen, and then use yen to get loans in dollars to then buy stock. But because yen was like so cheap that like you'd actually you'd make money on the spread of like the loans and shit. So, like, you could just, like, buy money for, like, US dollars that are expensive, buy yen that is cheaper, and then use that to buy stock, and you get it at, like, a discount, essentially. It was, like, some weird-ass, like, loop like that. And now that yen is super expensive, people can't do that anymore. The Tokyo-based company led by billionaire Masayoshi Son said it expected... its first $10 billion chunk of the deal would be financed by borrowing firm Japanese bank Mizuho and other lenders and be completed in April. The remaining $30 billion would come in by early 2026. CNBC said it would come by end of 2025. It's already being pushed out. The deal, by far the largest investment ever in a startup, values OpenAI at $300 billion if all the money is invested. Yeah. It's also unfortunate with private companies where it's like you can like this information will like we just really never know unless people like come out and like talk about it. The bet. I like how they're framing it almost like it's like a gambling deal. It's like the bet, the risk, the background. I guess this is just probably deals in general. Together with SoftBank's pledge to lead the $100 billion Stargate cloud computing initiative with OpenAI, the investment marks a massive bet on the artificial intelligence startup. It entwines the fortunes of SoftBank with the company that expects to lose billions of dollars for years to come. The hope is that OpenAI emerges as the leader of the pack in a race spread artificial intelligence throughout society and commerce, a market that many believe will be worth trillions of dollars a year. Yeah. I'm trying to think in like cyberpunk or like just sci-fi in general. I actually feel like sci-fi, well, it does have AI a lot. It's really like it's never a big part of things. Like it's always kind of like the assistant role. And I'm just wondering like how we could get to $1 trillion. Like what other, like what could be built that would generate $1 trillion worth of wealth, you know? Because realistically, the actual like development of the model itself is going to be like it's already being commoditized. It's a race to the bottom in terms of price. Everyone wants the cheapest but best model, and so like that business model, you know, it's a race to the bottom. So like, is really like selling a $20 subscription going to get you to like, you know, they're already making $12.7 billion, but like, is it just slow? Like, you know, startups need exponential growth. And while they've seen that with ChatGPT, they are losing money on that. Like, you know, it's like they are not making any money on that. Even like commercialized stuff, like getting to $1 trillion is just, I wonder if even the current economy, like we would have to grow just the general economy in general, like magnitudes more, I feel like, to further to even be enough wealth to be transferred to like, you know, result in a single market being trillions of dollars. Like, yeah, I feel like something even more drastic has to happen, that we like some new discovery like the ChatGPT moment has to happen again for something that's actually like significantly more intertwined with like within our life, like a cell phone. And I know that's what they want AI to eventually be, but I feel like there's a large gap in between that and where we currently are. And there I feel like there needs to be other milestones of like research and development to be hit that will unlock some other new type of like, you know, viral exponential growth moment. Yeah. Like self-driving cars could be an example. I think that actually might be a good example of a R&D thing that could come along, unlock a more valuable use of AI in the real world. Like humanoid robotics is another one, but like again, like that, like we are far from that realistically. Commercially, no, but like I like, you know, to hit $1 trillion, you have to be intertwined. You need to be in like consumer markets. You can't like, I don't know. Anyways, I guess I just want to illustrate, I feel like this is such a big bet. Not that AI won't be useful or like anything, but like that it'll make enough money for you to make back tens of billions of dollars. Like they're only making $12.7 billion a year. To get, like, that's just, like that's a fraction of what they just raised. Like to distribute all of that to all investors, it's going to take decades. But they're not even like, they're not even making money. Like that's like not profit. That's just revenue. Not gross. Anyways, okay. The information revolution has now entered a new phase led by artificial intelligence. SoftBank said in a statement that called OpenAI its partner closest to achieving artificial general intelligence, in which computers operate on the level of humans. News Corp, owner of Wall Street Journal, has a content licensing partnership with OpenAI after suing them. SoftBank, the risk. SoftBank is taking a lot of risk for a piece of OpenAI. Ratings agency said S&P Global said Tuesday that SoftBank's financial condition will likely deteriorate as a result of the OpenAI investment that it plans to add debt. Could lead the agency to consider downgrading SoftBank's ratings. That's crazy. So like what I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. Just saying this, I could be wrong. But based off of my trusted source of watching The Big Short, just kidding. I'm pretty sure if they, like, Masayoshi Son probably takes on debt from a company. Like, they said that this bank, they're borrowing money from just Japanese bank. So this bank will issue debt to SoftBank and Masayoshi Son. They will likely go and sell that debt or a part of it on like secondary markets, and make, make some money off of it right now. But that debt that is attached to it, because it's Masayoshi Son, SoftBank's debt has a rating attached to it. Probably like, it's like AAA, A, AA, triple B, keeps going down like that. And when you get downgraded, I think it makes the debt like more expensive, or it's just more risky in general. That's what they're signaling, which makes it makes it more expensive. Gives them maybe if they want to borrow more money, it'll cost more interest because now the company giving them money is going to have to take on a risk because this ratings agency kind of downgraded them. And so that's not, it's very bad. The fact that they're willing to get downgraded to invest in OpenAI, or potentially downgraded, is Masayoshi Son's a gambling man. We'll just say that, man. Fuck. None of the startups with early leads in generative AI have shown they can operate profitably, and the sector is pouring tens of billions of dollars into data centers based on assumptions not yet proven of a future in which AI rapidly permeates the globe. Yeah. Now, this is in I'm curious how this will play out, but I just wonder how much of it is. I've been toying with this idea. I'm sure it's not new, but there's a fine line between ambition and greed. And I think people get them mixed up sometimes, when I think most of the time it's likely greed, especially in the markets, versus being ambitious and just wanting to do something big. This the AI race right now seems like greed because of things not being proven. These are all things that the people who are incentivized to say them are saying. It's like OpenAI, or Sam Altman is obviously going to say what he needs to show that to potentially get investors or people to bet on him about the future, about what could happen with AI. And he's just saying that. Obviously, I'm sure there's I think I said in Technomicons, if you start drinking the Kool-Aid enough, you're going to start, spitting it out. Whether or not he believes it or not, truly, I don't know. But I'm sure there's some part of him now that does. But that's all it is. It's just his word. And, there's, Dario Modi, the Anthropic CEO, has said some similar things. He's made some even more aggressive bets, even though he's the one who's kind of been more level-headed. But he's saying in like 2027, I think, like, he said something about like most code, or like 90% of code being generated by AI by like 2027 or something like that, or I don't remember what exactly. But he just made a very ambitious bet. But yeah, now there is a need, there's a demand for compute from OpenAI, from Anthropic. There's definitely shortages. But they're still not making money. Even if they're going to go out and buy a compute, which is demand for these data centers, they're not making money. I feel like that's kind of the big thing. So even if they are going out and courting the data centers, and like to them that seems like there's growth, they're paying them, but it may there's going to be a limit to how much money that they're going to be paying. They only have so, like, OpenAI not bringing in revenue. They have to raise money to get more money. Yeah, this is going to be this cycle is going to be interesting to watch it play out. I hope it plays out, and I seriously hope that like we get these things. It's just right now they're being based off of future predictions, and that's about it. Early tech leaders often falter, a point SoftBank learned when it made a dot-com era bet that Yahoo would be the dominant force in search. The background. That has been a common feature of Sun's risk-heavy strategy. The CEO borrowed heavily for the company's successful acquisition of Vodafone's Japanese unit and chip design company ARM. ARM paid off, but it was very risky. More recently, because ARM also IPO'd, and I think that's probably how they got their payout. And that's usually how, there's only a few ways for like venture capitalists like SoftBank and Masayoshi Son to get their money back. One is IPOing, the other is exiting or selling. Either the company selling themselves, and so the acquirer, they get money from the person acquiring the startup that they invested in, or they sell their shares on like secondary markets or just to someone else where they could exit, and they might sell them for more than they bought them for. But IPOing is usually their probably the depending on the fund strategy, it's probably their like the best goal, because then they could hold the stock. Ideally over time it goes up. Now the market could kind of get their hands on it and give a valuation, make it go up or down, whatever. But ultimately, usually they make money from them IPOing. So yeah. So Masayoshi Son successfully did that with ARM. They IPO'd, and it was a rough start, but I think that they are doing good now. Been up and down. they're trending down, but I would say it's a success overall. I don't know. It's a young company, so we'll see though. Okay. Anyway, so this is one that Masayoshi Son kind of paid off. More recently, SoftBank has been licking its wounds from piling tens of billions of dollars into startups just before values plunged in 2021. And Son repeatedly said SoftBank would stay on defense. Now, having pivoted to offense, SoftBank has ramped up spending, including a $6.5 billion acquisition of chip startup Ampere. Fuck, I didn't actually know they bought Ampere. Ampere's a big in the space of ARM chips, which is up here. Like, I'm pretty sure they make like third-party chips, because I remember. Yeah, they make these. I saw Jeff Geerling, who makes fantastic videos. He made a video on Ampere. He made a video on these chips. Yeah, he's made several videos, and they've been entertaining to watch, and it's cool. Yeah, 120 128 core Monster ARM PC. So it's interesting that they bought that. I actually didn't know that. SoftBank had a decent buffer of $31 billion of cash as of December 31st, but the company is also pledged to hold much of that reserve to quell worried investors. Yeah, I'm sure people are like, bro, you are Masayoshi-san, like, chill. SoftBank is committed, but that's also probably why he's been successful. But he's also lost all of his money one time, so... SoftBank has committed not to borrow more than 25% of the value of all its holdings, which means it will likely need to sell some of the other parts of its empire to pay for the rest of the OpenAI deal. Wow. SoftBank said it expects $10 billion of the $40 billion investment in OpenAI would come from other investors. To unlock the $30 billion second chunk of the investment, OpenAI needs to convert for a for-profit company. The journal has reported. If it doesn't, SoftBank is still on the hook to pay $10 billion. Because I think if it's a non-profit, they don't probably get their payout. Like, they can't... it's more of like a donation or something. I don't know actually how that works exactly, but... Yeah, okay, this is an interesting saga. Yeah, OpenAI's new funding round comes just months after it raised $6.6 billion. So it just raised $6 billion and now it's already at 150. Or, you know, it was just valued at 150 billion and now it's doubled to 300 billion. Crazy. Crazy. Okay. Let's change gears here to Intel. Intel's speaking of chip companies, speaking of struggling chip companies. Dang, even just today they're down 3%. Yeah, I mean, quite the you could even see like their volume, you know, like is gone down, their trading volume. You can see. But yeah, Intel's struggling. And they've always been a pretty solid investment. Like, they haven't been a super high growth company, but they've kind of been in like the they pay a solid dividend. Yeah, 2.2%. Like, that's not that bad. Pay a solid dividend. They've just been consistently bringing in revenue. They're just a standard, you know, solid value investment. But they've been struggling at you know, AMD's been growing at Intel's cost now. AMD is kind of won back a lot of, especially gaming. I think gaming is an underrated part of the market. They've won, you know, kind of the gaming sector, and also they've started to win the data center. AMD's like data center CPU offerings are starting to be really good. Their EPYC CPUs are good for servers. And Intel's just been having, I feel like, a lot of like internal problems, but also like they say one thing and then the thing, like they'll say like the performance of this CPU is this, but then it comes out and then there's all kinds of problems. Like, you know, it's like not very consistent. I think, you know, it's like just like small blunders that have slowly rolled and, you know, gotten bigger. And Pat Gelsinger, their old CEO, did what he can, but you can only do so much. You kind of need to bring some fresh blood in. So, the new CEO is just coming in hot. He's just like, tell us what's wrong, essentially. So, but I think though, like in going forward, like Intel's GPUs, like they're targeting, like, you know, their budget GPUs are actually very good, and that is, you know, a good sign. They're reasonably priced. I think though they're still like waiting. They're, you know, they're still getting for adoption and like waiting for more adoption and also like ironing out the kinks. They're getting more game support. They're getting kind of like their DLSS versions of stuff. They support like AV1, which is a new encoding algorithm that is good for like streaming video and stuff. So that's like a good like niche to get into. So yeah, I don't know. And I also think Intel is very bloated. They have so many subsidiaries that work on like not like a lot of commercial stuff, a lot of like chips that are in other devices that you don't really see, like Microtech or Microtech. Rotech. Not this. Maybe this? It was like micro, I feel it's like Microtech. No, not this. Anyways, yeah, Intel has other subsidiaries, so curious to see what they do with it. Okay, let's read and let's see what CEO has to say. Okay, these are so short. In his first public appearance as Intel Corp's new chief executive, Lip-Bu Tan on Monday asked the chip giant's customers to continue to give him their criticism and honesty as he moves forward with his plans to revive the company. Tan did not directly address the big question that investors are wondering about, whether Intel will remain one company or whether he plans to spin off either its chip product lines or its separate manufacturing business. Yeah, and uniquely, Intel is actually a foundry. They make their own chips for the most part. And that's rare nowadays. AMD used to own a company called Global Foundries, and now Global Foundries, and then they spun it off, and so Global Foundries is its own company, or is like sold to someone else. So look. Yeah. Okay, I guess the state-owned sovereign fund of Dubai has 82% stake in them now. Yeah, they created by the venture of manufacturing arm AMD in March 2009. So uniquely, that's like a unique market position Intel has, I guess. But in a 45-minute talk at an Intel customer conference in Las Vegas, Tan, with references ranging from Henry David Thoreau to Golden State Warriors basketball to some unheralded past Intel leaders, said that Intel has a big job ahead. It's very clear, Tan said, referring to many early conversations he's already had with customers, that we have a lot of work ahead. He reiterated a previous statement that he made when he was first named CEO, vowing that Intel will return to its roots as an engineering-focused company. And I think that's what they try to do with like Gelsinger, the old CEO. He kind of said that too, where business people kind of take it over, but really, like, it's more of an engineering company, and you need to have this engineering knowledge to be able to make decisions. I feel like good decisions within the company. Tan, 65, explained that he took on the job at this stage of his career because he loves Intel. It was very hard for me to watch this struggle, he said. I simply could not stay on the sidelines. He was previously on Intel's board and departed suddenly last August. He also said that one big lesson he learned in his turnaround of the Cadence design systems. Oh, okay, that's what this company is. Where he was previous CEO was to really listen to feedback and input from customers. Wow, who would have thought? The people you're making the thing for, to listen to them. People, please be brutally honest with us, he said. I believe harsh criticism is more valuable. He also quoted Thoreau, the New England naturalist and transcendentalist, who asked for truth rather than love, than money, than fame. Bro, I like this CEO already, bro. Not enough for me to invest in the company, but with Tan saying he wants his customers, his team, his partners, and even his wife to give me truth. Then we can go together and fix problems and move forward as a team. I dig that though, you know? He's like, don't hold back. Like, the fact that everyone like tiptoes around probably makes it so much harder for him to actually do his job. So it's like, bro, say it how it is. Some of his goals for Intel are to make the company feel more like a startup again, with more freedom for its engineers to be creative and to be as tight as a basketball team. like the Warriors, who can often pass a ball without even looking at each other. This is the kind of team I would like to build at Intel, Tan said. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of I know Nvidia and Intel technically are competitors now that Intel's in the GPU market. And actually technically Nvidia is in the CPU market with their GB, they're like Grace Blackwell CPU. They made a CPU in partnership with Broadcom. So technically they're full on competitors now. But notably, when comparing NVIDIA and AMD, because AMD also is in the GPU market, their GPU is much more mature than Intel, and has been competing with NVIDIA much longer. One competitive advantage that NVIDIA has over AMD is that they give their engineers more freedom by giving them much more like budget to play with their own GPUs. So like Nvidia has their own data centers, just as Intel has their own data centers, just as AMD likely has their own data centers. That is for internal production stuff, to test things, but also to give their engineers actual built production level, thing like CPUs and servers that is using the thing they're making, so they can test the software, run the software, do other, like build things that will ultimately become products that they will sell to customers. Nvidia gives their engineers much more graphics cards to play with and do this than their competitors, in that they said has been a big advantage. And I imagine that's when he says like, oh, with more freedom, like that is probably one thing. And it costs money, but it costs money to give people freedom too within a company. So I think that this is what they really need. I feel like this always just helps. Giving engineers like things to tinker with and play around. That's how things are invented, and that's how new ways of doing things are created. So that's cool. You read Intel's past statement that the first production from its newest manufacturing process, called 18A, will be a high-performing chip codenamed Panther Lake later this year. Tan also said he believes Intel needs a stronger offering in the data center market, and that he's not happy with Intel's position in the AI arena. Yeah, and on AI, previous CEO was betting more on the inference side, so not training. We kind of go from training to inference. And inference is like when you ask ChatGPT for something, it'll give you something back. It's inferring. They're not like training it on anything. Training is done while they're, before it's deployed. So think of like inference as like they deploy the model and then it could be used. And then from then on, it's pretty much just inferring. It doesn't take as much compute power to infer than comparing to training. Training takes a shit ton of compute. That's where most of the power comes from, is actually training. Image generation is also a lot of power, but that's like a different. But with inference, that's where Intel was trying to be positioned, and AMD too, because you don't need as powerful of CPUs and GPUs to infer. Mainly you probably want GPUs, but that's where Intel was hoping to get in. And like realistically, it's like having just like that tiny slice of the market will probably still be like valuable, but it's like, why is Nvidia been the only like benefactor? And realistically, like, of all of this, it's like Intel could have been in that competition. They could have gotten some of the slice that Nvidia's had if they were better positioned, going into this, or they were, I don't know the behind the scenes, but yeah, it is. I wouldn't be happy with their position in the AI arena too, especially considering how much money all these other companies that are in there are getting, when Intel could also be in there. Like that feels bad. And that ultimately is the data center market right now. It's being driven by AI. We just read how OpenAI is spending a lot of money on compute. We saw that Sam Altman is literally begging. He's like, if anyone has GPU capacity in the 100K chunks we can get ASAP, please call. It's like anything. So yeah, Intel should be reaping some of those benefits, but they're not. I've heard feedback loud and clear. He said it's time to turn a new page and work towards a more competitive system. It won't happen overnight, but I know we can get there. Frankly, it sounded more like an apology than anything else. That's funny. Bernstein research analyst Stacy Razgon, in a note to clients, he added that Tan genuinely seems eager for brutally honest feedback from customers and partners as he tries to right the ship. We hope he gets it, but Razgon added that it is clear that Intel is in for a slog as he tries to fix myriad issues around product and process and attract and satisfy customers. Yeah, I imagine coming in and trying to, like, people hate change. People hate change. As someone who went through a corporate restructuring, quote unquote, where we like changed our processes, we switched from waterfall, the development process of waterfall, to agile / scrum, and it was like rough, like pulling teeth. A lot of people just like dragged their feet. The rest of the business didn't really like it. So like changing internal processes is like so hard because people just hate change. So like it is he's climbing a mountain doing this. Tan noted that when he signed on to steer Cadence through its turnaround, he was only asked by the board to take over as CEO for 3 months, but he ended up staying for 15 years. I will be here as long as the company needs me, he said Monday. Dang. Yeah, that was interesting. I'm curious what's going to happen to Intel. If you do really believe in the company, now would be a great time to buy it because they are hella cheap. $20. $20. Wait, do they? I swear they have a dividend. Do they not? Do they suspend their dividend? Yeah, 1 year is down 50%. What's their market cap? Bro, OpenAI is worth 3 Intels right now. They just raised money at a $300 billion valuation. Are they worth 3 Intels? That is so crazy. Even AMD now is like, you know, even OpenAI's worth 2 AMDs, 2 Texas Instruments. But can't beat Nvidia. 2.6 trillion market cap. Crazy times. Yeah, this is interesting. Okay, here, let's talk about this. Roblox users can now watch Google's immersive ads in exchange for in-game perks. I'm I think this is interesting because I'm surprised things like this hasn't made it into more like desktop PC type games. Because I think games and advertising in games is kind of underrated. Like as someone who plays games, fuck advertising in games. Like, yeah, it sucks. But if the game's free, it's just a free to play game. Like the devs need to make money, I guess. And especially when it's targeting an audience that doesn't have like liquid cash, i.e. kids. You know, you could show, you know, a kid an ad. It's just like the old, bro, we're going back to cable TV. You know, kids would be watching cartoons. The fucking, you know, tech deck ad would come on. You know, as a kid, you'd be like, fuck yeah, bro, I want a tech deck. You'd go to your mom and be like, Mom, can I have a tech deck for Christmas, please, or my birthday? Come Christmas, your parents go out and buy it. That, you know, that's kind of how cable TV kid advertising worked. Now, no one's watching cable TV, everyone's watching YouTube. I'm sure on YouTube it works the same. But now it's like, bro, bring it into video games. It's like kids are playing Roblox and Fortnite and shit. You know, they're doing it more subtly with like skins, you know? Like, you know, you could buy the fucking you could buy the marshmallow skin on Fortnite. And then the kid's like, "Oh, I'm going to go listen to Marshmallow." And so he listens to Marshmallow music, he gets some streaming revenue, they buy some merch, you know, it's a cycle. They pay Fortnite to probably put the skin in there. It's advertising. But it's like, why have, like, it's always been so subtle now. It's like, bro, just fucking show ads. Like, it'd probably make more money. If you actually, like, intertwine it within the game, too, I feel like it could be kind of, like, immersive, too, in a way. If they actually, like, make the ad copy and, like, tailor, like, the visuals to the game, like, movies do it, TV shows do it. Video game is just an interactive movie and TV show, so I'm saying this like just being objective, but like realistically, I would not want that. I mean, like if it gives okay, let's think about this like from a more like human perspective. If some company is making something that I enjoy and I want to continue playing and I don't want to pay for it and I want free, I think the minimum you could do is throw in an ad in there that is intertwined with the game that like you wouldn't even really know is an ad if it, you know, if you didn't know, like see it how it was. I don't know. It gives the people who make the games, you know, puts food on the table, gives them the shelter over their, you know, head, like for something that I enjoy. Like, you know, it seems like a small payoff. I with advertising though, I hate the tracking that comes with it. Like the target advertising, it's like, yeah, bro, they know when you wipe your ass. Like that shit is not cool. But if it's just like this, it's like, I don't know, it's whatever. Okay, let's actually read the article. Google announced Tuesday that it is broadening the reach of its immersive ads to include more publishers and is also unveiling a new partnering with Roblox. And also Google as a company who is essentially an advertising company. For the longest time, like 70% of Google's revenue was just ads. Still is their like largest revenue driver. You know, think about YouTube. It's like literally YouTube is just an ad. It's just a platform just to serve you targeted ads. That's what Google Search is. Serve you targeted ads. That's how it's free. That's what Gmail is. Gmail is free. Google Docs is free. But, you know, you give them your data, which they then sell, and people use that to show you advertisements. So I'm surprised that Google actually hasn't gotten into like some more like niche like video game like advertising. Maybe there's just the market's just not big enough. That's probably like more likely. But the popular gaming platform, meanwhile, will launch its own rewarded video ad format this month through Google Ad Manager, letting users watch ads in exchange for the in-game benefits like virtual currency or power-ups. And see, like, this is, for mobile games, this is just how it's always worked. Like, free-to-play mobile games, like, you watch an ad, you get, you know, some fucking virtual bucks. Some V-bucks. Yeah, it was like... And I think, though, you also have to realize, like, for Steam, like, most people who play on, like, who are, like, primarily use, like, Steam, like, play games on Steam, like, you were actually a very unique section of the market. Like, most people on Steam are not playing the same games that people play on console or on mobile. Steam is, like, its own beast. You know, it's more of, like, the, like, simulation-y, like, survival-y, crafty, colony sim, like, you know, like those kind of games are all like kind of unique to Steam in a way. Like that, those players too. Most people like with a console are playing a game that requires a controller. So like anything that has a bunch of keybinds or a complex UI just doesn't fit. And it's mainly just like single player, like story driven, like linear kind of games. Not saying that people on Steam don't play that, but the majority of people are not playing those games. like those kinds of games, I guess. And so I think it's kind of bring it back to this. Those people are also like hardcore enthusiasts, and they would they would flip their shit if they started showing ads in games. Respectfully so, especially after you buy like a $60 game, $70 game. I don't know, I guess that's what Call of Duty does. They sell you a $70 game, and then they sell you microtransactions on top of that. I think or like Warzone's free, but still. Through the collaboration announced today, brands can purchase immersive video ads on Roblox programmatically through Google's Ad Manager, opening up access to Roblox's audience of 85 million daily active users, a substantial share of which are Gen Z, according to the platform. Yeah, and I think Roblox is like the Gen Z's Minecraft. Like, obviously, some Gen Z play Minecraft, but I feel like Roblox was more like prominent, just like Minecraft was for like millennials and some Gen Z. But like Roblox is like the Gen Alpha, Gen Z's Minecraft, kind of, where it's like a open platform. It's a sandbox that you could install mods, you could make servers that do custom things, like, it's kind of just like the different flavor. Gamers are entrenched and immersed in the worlds that game publishers and app developers create, and therefore it's really critical that ads don't detract from that experience, and if anything, they enhance the experience. Yes, bro. See, he knows. Scott Scheffer, he knows. VP of Sell-Side Monetization at Google during a press briefing. Immersive ads allow publishers to open up opportunities for advertisers to reach their audience in ways that are intrinsic to the existing experience, embedding the ad within the game itself. See, yes, they get it. They see the vision. Early tests of this program saw completion rates average over 80%. I want to see like an example. Oh, bro, this is like literally just like mobile ad shit. I mean, they literally even have a phone here. Like, Roblox has positioned the deal as part of a broader strategy to make the platform more accessible to advertisers while providing new revenue streams for creators. Yeah, and unfortunately, Roblox does share revenue with like Robux. Spent in game. I think that's what they're called. Or no, never mind. So I guess if they're giving ad revenue, that's also kind of cool. The company launched video billboards, previously called video ads, in Q2 2024. And this is exactly what I would think of to have ads. Eventually, Roblox's partnership with Google will see video billboards integrate in Google's ad tech ecosystems as well. In addition to the rollout of rewards video ads, Roblox also announced new partnership with campaign measurement firm Double Verify, Integral Ad Science, Kantar, Nielsen, and Cint to help advertisers assess the impacts of their buys. So these are all like these are kind of the more traditional advertising. Like Nielsen's like cable TV advertising kind of. So like this is more traditional ads, and it seems like they're kind of letting them in. Yo. Covering Roblox users can now watch Google's immersive ads in exchange for in-game perks. The move correlates with a broader industry trend. Gaming's ad investment will grow 3.2% year over year in 2025, according to a recent survey from IAB Projects. I wonder if this is just like, I wish they showed a pie chart breaking it down, because I feel like most of this is still mobile advertising. I still feel like desktop in-game advertising still has a way to go, or it's not as direct like we were talking about before, where it's like skins and shit. It's not like just like straight up showing an ad in-game. Google's immersive ads program, which includes both 2D and 3D formats designed to blend seamlessly into gaming environments. Think virtual billboards, in-gamified cityscape. Exactly. Bro, okay, so Google's thought about this. I will say, it seems like they actually have like kind of had a vision for this, and they executed, which is good. Unlike Google, We'll see if this actually lasts, or if it'll be added to the killed by Google list, as Google kills mostly everything, it seems like. It'll expand to more publishers via both Ad Manager and the mobile-focused AdMob platforms. Okay, so it's both. Roblox plans to bring additional ad formats, including its image and video billboard ads, formerly video and image ads, to Google Ad Manager in the coming months, while also integrating more SSPs and DSPs through Google's authorized buyer solution. I don't know what this means. Like sell side? Sell side? Supply side platform. Okay, what does DSP mean now? Demand side. All right. Yeah, because I mean, advertising it's two-way. Advertisers. Demand side is someone like probably offering a website to advertise on. Sell side is probably, or maybe sell side is offering that, and then demand side is like the ad buyers. I don't know. Online advertising is something that I don't know, but I do want to actually start a project that requires to run ads just so I could learn it and like see what it's like. I can't like, I don't know. Seems like it'd be interesting, but it can't be like too complicated, right? Like Facebook ads. We're looking for ways to accelerate adoption, but also remove friction. So you can buy Roblox ads and immersive formats, however you as an agency or brand buy them. I also think there's a lot more complication in like ad buying, where it's like Roblox might go to this agency and sell and be like, you know, like here's this like advertising slots, like do you want them? And then they could go sure, and then I think they could then go and then resell it, you know, to bring in brands, and then like, you know, Roblox makes a buck selling it kind of wholesale, and then this agency kind of marks it and makes the spread or the margin on what they bought it, and then they're going to sell it for. I feel like that's kind of how like advertising works sometimes. Said Roblox VP of Brand Partnerships and Advertising, Stephanie Latham. Oh, VP of Global Brand Partnerships and Advertising. Got it. Google's Sheffer characterized the deal as a win-win-win. As Michael Scott liked to say, a win-win-win. The negotiator leaves, you know, like feeling like he won. It's a win for advertisers, the win for gamers. It's a win for developers. I don't know about this, but if the game I like playing, if the developer from the game I enjoy playing needs to put food on his table and a house over his head, so be it. It's mainly the tracking for advertising, I feel like, that is bad, and in intrusive ads that, you know, like fuck up the flow of shit. If it's immersive and it's in the game and it looks like it belongs in the world, I don't know, kind of cyberpunky, which makes it kind of cool a little bit, maybe. Yeah, it's intrusive, and it's the tracking. It's like targeted advertising that's like creepy. Like that, I feel like that's why I'm surprised that contextual advertising isn't more popular, because that's the advertising. Yeah, it's a psyop, exactly, bro. It's like psychological. Like they're getting data so they could play, you know, your mind, like get a fucking psyop on you, literally. Yeah, I think contextual advertising is like just way better. It just shows you ads about what's on the page instead of tracking what the users users viewing it. It just makes it more relevant, because then it's like you're not reading this article about Roblox and then you're seeing a fucking like diet pill ad on the side. It's like no, you might see advertising about Roblox, or like, you know, this is an ad week, so it's like about, you know, shit that's relevant. Anyways, yeah. I don't know. We'll see if that comes more to games. Like MMOs would be a great example of, like, you know, it's like a very lively world and you have ads in it. Like, if it, I wonder what when you block tracking it up with the shit in your ads. Bro, my YouTube ads right now are off the chain. I was like, I've been screenshotting a few. Yeah, because exactly, bro, they don't know me. I'm getting ads in Spanish, bro. I'm getting ads in fucking, you know, different languages. Like, I was like, is that what they really think about me? I was like, if so, then I'm winning. But yeah, bro. Like, I've been getting this ad for these like Temu ads, and I only get them on my phone for one, because I block ads on YouTube. But I've been getting this ad for this puppy. It looks like it's a real puppy. Like, in the ad, it's like a kid playing with a real little puppy, but they're selling a fucking, like, toy, like, electronic puppy on Temu. And they're like, it mimics real life. And then in the ad, they're showing a real life puppy. And then I click on it, and I was like, I have to see this. And it's just this fucking, like, $10, like, little, like, robot puppy in a box. I'm like, who the fuck is falling for this? Like, they're paying money to put this on YouTube. Are people going and buying this? Oh yeah, erectile dysfunction ads. That's like I get those, like, scrolling every time too. Yeah, hymns. Yeah, alt-right ads. Most of my ads are Charlie Kirk's fucking Turning Point USA. That's what my ads are. And it's like, one, I was like, bro, you're advertising the wrong person. But two, sometimes the ads, like, just don't make sense. I'm like, I don't know. Ozempic, yep, get Ozempic. Yeah, we're like on the same algorithm, like, ad algorithm. Yeah, exactly. It's like you're left leaning and you don't need to lose weight. Literally. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube ads are off the chain right now. Oh, also, I get these AI ads too, and it's like, but it's like the AI ones trying to pretend like you're a girlfriend or whatever, like the girlfriend AI ads, and those ones are insane. Fuck me. Sometimes I just don't I don't get how they pass like the review on Google. Like, I was like, this is either just like a scam, or it's like, you know, so inappropriate that, like, I don't know how, like, you could just, like, show this to, like, normal people. Yes, the AI stock trading ad, and it's like this dude, like, sitting here like a fucking Frozen, and then his mouth's like moving and he's like looking like this, and it's like yes, bro. Fuck me. I don't know what's up with YouTube ads. Yeah, and like the voice, like, doesn't match. It's like, I'm the only person who shares my stock trading, you know? Yeah. Oh god. I think it's gonna only get worse. Bro, like, to me, that's so cyberpunky. Like, this fucking ads. Live, laugh, live stream, yeah. Or live, laugh, live stream, yeah. Like, ads are just gonna get worse, I feel like. Especially as they collect more data on you, and as these, like, this is probably like an idea on its own, but like, I don't know how to put this in words. Like, I feel like there's markets being created that take advantage of like human, like, weakness in a way. So like loneliness, like that in itself is a market now. Convenience is like that's like most shit nowadays is convenience. I can't think of another one, but loneliness and convenience are like, they're not flaws or weaknesses necessarily, but like they just take advantage of like natural human wants. I guess that's everything. That's like capitalism. But I think just like loneliness, convenience, there's like markets being created that sell to people being lonely, that, you know, sell to people like wanting higher convenience for something that like might not be good. I think like these like AI girlfriends are just selling to like, you know, ultimately their person, they're who they're selling to is someone who's just kind of lonely, who might want someone to talk to, who like, you know, might be socially awkward or blah blah blah. And like I feel like that's shitty, and that's gonna keep being exaggerated and get worse as we struggle with like the digital divide, with, you know, being terminally online, with people not understanding like going out in the real world and like learning social skills and like touching grass. Like I feel like that's gonna be exacerbated and just get worse. And it's very cyberpunky. It's probably the one of the worst parts of like that, the cyberpunk feeling that I'm getting and living in this world today. But I think that, yeah, it's unfortunate, but I also think unfortunately it's gonna get worse. And sometimes though, I you know, it might not always be a downside. Like I don't know, giving someone like an AI girlfriend so they could like feel better about themselves, and then eventually like graduate to go get a real life girlfriend. That sounds so weird saying that. I don't know. That like might not be the worst thing, but I think that's not what usually happens. I'm just trying to stick up for my fucking gamer bro, you know? My origins. I'm trying to stick up for them. Okay. I'm having a that's really what I want Technonomicon to be about, is just these motifs, these themes that I see in real life that we also see in these dystopian futures that science fiction has created or predicted, whatever. Mainly cyberpunk, because that's just what I like. I could, in my head, it's very clear. I see the patterns. I think I'm like, oh, this is like kind of cyberpunky, but getting it to words and explaining it or whatever is it's. I've been having trouble with that, and that's kind of what I want Technonomicon to be about, where I'm curating this view that is this kind of cyberpunk lens on the world. You know, it's like I kind of cover like emerging technologies, or like, you know, technological, like maybe downsides of technology, or like thing like unknown consequences, or just like how it's like it's taking over our life, or you know, big tech, you know, is kind of overreaching and it's doing things that are just very dystopian like. That's kind of what I want, but I and that's what I even wanted this like Brady's brain to kind of be about. This stream is like, it's just me curating this view of these kind of like tech stories that are just kind of like paint this picture that like we might not be going down the right path, and that like some of this shit is like literally science fiction level crazy, good and bad. But I don't know, sometimes I feel like I have a hard time like putting it into words. Kind of an idea too is like I've had is like creating like a like some sort of like speculative fiction like world that like that is only a little bit adjusted, like it's only made like a little bit fictional, like maybe we're like changing the names of the companies and stuff, but like if you just put a little tiny spin on it and then like say it's in a fictional world but it's based directly off of like what's happening in the real world, I feel like you could just kind of give this idea of like, yeah, this is insane, like this thing that happened is actually like fucking crazy, or it's like whether it be good or bad, you know. I just think that like if you tell real world stories and this like and just put a tiny bit of fictional spin on it, you could just like, I don't know, it's actually it just like shows that some things that are happening are crazy. I'm just having a hard time finding like a medium or a forum or like a way to get those thoughts out from my head, or like the vision I have, or like the pattern matching is really what it comes down to. I'm just like matching these patterns, like I could see these patterns in one thing and another. So anyways, rant over. um Okay, I kind of want to cover this Tether story. I've been stablecoin pilled. I kind of just like the idea of stablecoins now because I see the utility in them. And I kind of just want to cover crypto stuff more. Anyways, okay. Hey, I'm having like black coffee. I haven't had coffee in like on stream in a while. Usually my Red Bull or mushroom coffee. I'm buzzing. Tether bought 8,888 Bitcoin in Q1, bring its total holdings to $7.8 billion, the sixth largest in a single wallet. There's one thing about stablecoins that goes against the ethos of crypto, is that it's centralized. You know, like one platform is minting and has control in distributing over a cryptocurrency, stablecoin. And, you know, the benefit of crypto is that it's decentralized. And so that's kind of like, you know, it goes against it. I can't help but now see this pattern of Bitcoin is just becoming centralized. We have GameStop, who potentially said, like, it's becoming centralized by the people who hold the wealth, who hold traditional wealth, money, corporations, are just hedge funds, investment banks are just now buying up cryptocurrency. Let's ask Perplexity. Let's find the list of like Bitcoin holders, largest Bitcoin holders. We'll let that run. Stablecoin issuer Tether purchased an additional 8,888 Bitcoin in the first quarter of 2025 for about $735 million, bringing its total holdings to 92,646 Bitcoin, worth roughly $7.8 billion at current prices. Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay, but this isn't fact. Okay, Binance, I want to see it in like percentages. Yeah, MicroStrategy. Tesla, I forgot. Hut 8. Why do we... Hut 8. Hut 8, that seems familiar. Scanning. Scanning. It's, fucking Hut 8, like, merged with the Trump, Bitcoin mining shit or something. Where did I swear I just saw that. Did we... Anyways, yeah. Hut 8's like a Bitcoin mining operation. Okay, Binance, the largest exchange, holds over 647,000 Bitcoin. Most of these assets are in custody. Then MicroStrategy, who is Michael Saylor, who we kind of looked at the other day. They own 2% of the supply of Bitcoin. U.S. government, just through seizures. That's so funny. They've accumulated over 205,000 Bitcoin, making it a significant institutional holder. The Winklevoss twins, bro. This is like, if you told me this was a list of DC supervillains, I would believe you. The Winklevoss twins, famously fucking fucked over by Mark Zuckerberg, I guess. Helped start Facebook. Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, founders of the Gemini exchange and early Bitcoin adopters, estimated to own 70,000 Bitcoin. And then we have Tether, owns 92,000. I wish this was like a percentage. Ah, yes, bro. River Learn. Thank you. Fuck. Yeah, I mean, I swear like the Chinese government owns a huge portion. This list is not that good, if I'm being honest, actually. I think they probably got it from like disparate sources. And so it's like not really like. Yeah, China holds 190,000 Bitcoin. Even the UK. Bro, where's fucking Venezuela or something? Didn't they like make like Bitcoin the like currency? Despite China's crackdown on cryptocurrency trading and mining, it holds significant Bitcoin reserves from seizures. I swear China was just buying it. The Chinese government now approximately 90 billion. Most of the Bitcoin was seized from the Plus Token Ponzi scheme, one of the largest cryptocurrency scams, which promised investors return up to 30%. Jeez. Someone's like moving and they're like arguing over if they're done or not. Dang. Here we go. Yeah, okay, wait. Yeah, so centralization, that's what we're talking about. Oh my gosh. So I guess there's so 21 million. It's interesting that you know how many's been minted, so you know how many are in circulation. So I guess there's 21 million. Oh, this is held by individuals. Okay, yeah. So most of it is still held by individuals. 69% about, probably. I would say that it's probably lower now. When was this? 2025. I hate when there's not like a published date and when there's data involved too. Mel Gox, bro. That. Yeah, and here's Michael Saylor, who's the founder and chairman of MicroStrategy. He personally held 17,000 Bitcoin. Holy shit. Sometimes it's like oh, here we go. Bitcoin distribution. Oh, bro, River Learn, you're just coming through with all the exact charts I wanted. Okay. Amount of Bitcoin that each stratum of an address owns in relation to the entire Bitcoin supply fluctuates over time. Today, 4 Bitcoin addresses contain 100,000 to a million BTC for a total of 704,000 Bitcoin. The next 93 largest owners, who range from 10,000 to 100,000, own a total of 2.2 million BTC. That's still actually a pretty small percentage, assuming it's 21 million. So it's like combined, this is like 3 million. That's like actually not that like centralized. 3 point. So in total, it's like 14%, 15%. But it's I guess it goes down a lot from there, just probably because it's very small. I've fallen like here. Interesting. Oh, I see. So it's going up. So yeah, people who own 10 Bitcoin and above hold 82%. And 12% is held on otherwise held by exchanges on behalf of clients. Interesting. BlackRock, wow. Coinbase. Okay, so Coinbase is actually number 1. This is November. Okay, see, this is what we've been wanting. Coinbase has 10% of the total share. Holy shit. Even third, so the top 20 hold 30%. Like that's a lot. That's a third. So Tether is actually down here. This is actually bumped up now because they own 92,000. So that actually bumps them up to here. Robinhood, wow. I think these are generally like on behalf of people. Fidelity we covered the other day, they're getting into stable coins. Fidelity's been pumping the crypto space. Chinese government, Kraken, this is an exchange. Also Gemini, they got the Winklevoss twins down here. Bitfinex. I don't know who these guys are. US government. That's crazy, actually. They hold 1% of the total supply. Oh, and it says held for clients. That's interesting. Grayscale. MicroStrategy. BlackRock, which makes sense now, I guess. Largest private equity. Cool. Okay, that's interesting. So Tether, going back to Tether, the transaction was recorded April 1st, consistent with Tether's pattern of accumulating Bitcoin throughout each quarter and moving it to its reserve wallet at the end of the quarter. With this latest addition, Tether now has the 6th largest amount of Bitcoin in a single wallet. Tether began acquiring Bitcoin in September 2022. I wonder why, though, because they can't, at least their flagship USDT or USDC, no, I think it's USDT, stablecoin isn't backed by Bitcoin, it's backed by US dollars, or at least most of it. In May 2023, it officially announced that it would allocate 15% of its net profits each quarter towards Bitcoin purchases. Since then, the company has consistently increased its reserves each quarter as part of its long-term diversification strategy. At current prices, Tether is sitting on about $3.86 billion in unrealized gains from Bitcoin holdings. Dang. The Bitcoin price declined nearly 12% in Q1 2025, marking its worst first quarter performance since 2018. 2018 is kind of when it peaked, or took off again, or just took off in general. This is like 2017. That was like peak crypto. The decline has largely been attributed to macroeconomic uncertainty and shifting market sentiment. How? In what? Macroeconomic uncertainty in what? What would cause the Bitcoin price to go up and down? The drug market? I'm just kidding. Fucking Bitcoin crypto enthusiasts flaming me now. Bitcoin is currently trading around $84,000 according to the Block's Bitcoin price page. Tether remains one of the most profitable companies in the crypto sector, and just profitable company, I think, in general. According to the latest attestation report, the company recorded $13 billion in net profit for 2024. Largely driven by interest income from U.S. Treasury holdings, along with unrealized gains from assets like Bitcoin and gold. Yeah, I mean, it's just interest. I wonder how much Treasury, how much debt they actually hold. Beyond its Bitcoin accumulation, Tether has also been expanding into new areas like Bitcoin mining, energy production, and AI. I actually think it's harder than you'd think to, if you're making this much money and you want to do something with it, I actually think that's kind of hard. think of like that's literally what like family offices are set up to just manage wealth, because like when you have so much, there's just like other shit that is involved, and then also like you want to kind of like do something with, like, if you want to keep your wealth and just not have it like sit and be taxed, or you want to like make more money with it, like it actually takes a lot of work. And so I imagine like they're just like, fuck, what are we gonna do with this money? It's like, might as well just like use it in, you know, to bolster the market that we're in, the industry that we're in. Yeah, signaling a broader strategy just beyond issuing USDT. USDT remains the world's largest stablecoin with a total supply of about 145 billion tokens. What's the next? USDC, which I think is that one's USDC is like Circle. You looked at the stablecoin coverage the other day. Tether's long faced criticism for not conducting full financial audits of its stablecoin reserves, relying instead on quarterly attestation reports. Last month, the company hired Simon McWilliams as its new chief financial officer to lead efforts towards securing a full audit. Tether is currently in talks with Big Four accounting firm Deloitte, EY, PYC, or KPMG to carry out the full audit. A move CEO Paolo Ardoino has called a top priority. It's interesting. Yeah, I think that now that more institutional investments getting involved in crypto, and you know, we have a president who is running crypto scams, whether that's, you know, obviously bad, but like whether people see that as good or bad, you know, I think it's gonna just kind of get more popularity. Unfortunately, I think you know, some of it's gonna be bad, but that's just any technology, I guess. Interesting. Okay, let's actually end on this. Tomorrow's gonna be tariff day, so assuming Trump actually announces all the tariffs tomorrow, we're just gonna cover that and we're gonna look into it. I'll find some other we're gonna kind of compare it to some other market reports that we've read that are against tariffs. Pretty much everything, every economist is against tariffs, I guess. So we're gonna kind of compare and contrast, take an objective view to it. But as a little palate taster, this guy who I followed, we probably disagree on politics. I think he's more of a libertarian, but he's an authority figure on tariffs. He's written about them a lot, and he's like done stuff on a lot. So, you know, the fact that politically we probably disagree, but we, you know, he still has a view on tariffs that it's negative, and I think he's even fucking Canadian. I don't know. He has some authority, so let's just take a look at this thread real quick. So Trump, and I've read some of his other threads on tariffs. He hates them. Oh no. This is funny. There's another meme I found. Yeah, it's like the entire market economic system is broken. Here's a plan from the 19th century to fix it. Tariff protectionist, Marxist. I was like, yeah, kind of funny. Okay, Trump is moving full steam ahead with an aggressive tariff program. Here's the problem. There's a problem with his agenda, though. Almost nobody wants tariffs right now. Yeah, because it's fucking old. It's old policy. There's new, better ways to do things. Typical conservative. Nobody wants tariffs right now. Poll after poll after poll shows they're unpopular, and the stock market is clearly voting against them with market returns. Yes, and the fact that it's causing so much unpredictability, which the market hates. Businesses can't invest if they don't know what the future is going to be like. Globalization just proven to work better. Literally. Yeah, I feel like and I mean, I guess that's why like all of a sudden, you know, even though conservatism or this like right-leaning ideologies has been popular, and like every left-leaning like liberal government around the world lost its leader to a right-leaning one, to the fact that now liberalism is actually coming back because people are like, wait, I don't like tariffs. Like, it's crazy. RFK's in control of vaccines. People don't give a shit about facts. Yeah. Trump is president. People don't give a shit about facts. Yeah. Post-truth era. We're in post-truth. Truth doesn't even matter. Just who you could convince. Okay, let's start with the question of whether tariffs are seen as beneficial, as Trump claims, or harmful to the American economy. According to a poll last week, only 14% of Americans think tariffs are beneficial. Yeah, but no offense, like, the typical American just like, I think this is actually not a good start, let's be honest. I don't know. I don't trust this, the average American's, like, economic opinion, just as, like, I probably don't trust mine because, you know, I'm just like some fucking dude, just as these people are. Like, I don't know. Post-truth is basically the cyberpunk red data crash without the benefits. Like, all the truth is actually, I don't know about the red data crash. Is it like all the actual data that's like is like gone now? Look it up. All right. Catastrophic event in which the original net was mostly destroyed by the rabids virus created by. Okay, it's not that long. We'll just read it. Imagine every Wikipedia page shuffled. Fuck yeah. Okay. Like that is. Fuck, that's actually like more detrimental, I feel like, than you think. That's crazy. Like if that happened today, like, yeah, then one, going in and unjumbling stuff gives people an opportunity to fucking sneak in shit, you know? If they go, assuming they're going in and fixing it, and malware injections are embedded. Jeez. Considered the most brilliant hacker of the net, Bartmos was a rogue netrunner who went out of his way to harass and undermine the corporations. Fuck yeah. Which he viewed as the ultimate oppressor of humanity. We're not quite there yet, but as a result, he lived most of his life on the run with corporate bounties on his head and resorted to hiding in disguised cryogenic freezers with life support tech and net access that he spent his final days in. That's crazy. Bartmos created and planned the rabids virus in the net in September 2014 during the release of the Ihar-Grub transformation algorithms as a grand act of defiance against corporate control to be triggered in the event of his death. It was designed to breach all corporate data fortresses and unleash their data on the net for all access, but it ended up having a very different effect. When the virus released, it infected 78% of the net in a matter of months. Net traffic came to a grinding halt. Corporations lost billions as the stock market destabilized. Huge amounts of data were corrupted, and countless military-grade artificial intelligences were unshackled and mutated into extremely dangerous entities. NetWatch, unable to reverse the damage or neutralize the AIs, decided to create the Blackwell, a potential AI with the sole task of blocking off section of the net that had been overrun by rogue AIs with ice, so that the rest of the net could be salvaged. Rumors emerged that NetWatch was only able to construct the Blackwell with the help of rogue AIs, who desired to separate themselves from human observation for their own opaque reasons. Bro, that's crazy. They're like, we'll help you because we want to be out of the eyes of humanity. We want to live our own lives on the net. In the data crash's immediate aftermath, the net was almost unusable. To maintain operations in the short term, many corporations and governments revived the use of 20th century punch card technology. Bro, it's just like today. Except we just never moved off of them. For data entry and security purposes. Upon the completion of the Blackwall, a few years, what if they have security cameras that are looking at where they're punch carding, and then the AI could look at the security cameras and then see the real world? Upon the completion of the Blackwall, a few years after the crash, the net stabilized into a very different landscape. Instead of vast, global spanning networks of interconnected systems subject to oversight and accountability, the net became fragmented, with corporations and other groups setting up different multitude of private nets that they held unfettered control over. That's just like social media, if I'm being honest. Today, you know, we have like Mastodon and Blue Sky that are based off of like open source protocols that is more like open, but then everything else like is controlled by a centralized entity that they, you know, ultimately have control over, unfettered control over. NetWatch ruled over the parts of the net that the public could access, monitoring all users' activity with no privacy and monitoring all user activity with no privacy and meting out harsh punishments for anyone who attempted to see what was on the other side of the black wall. That's crazy. That's cool. Yeah, it's like post-truth now, where it's like, you know, Elon Musk with X, he could censor shit, you know? It's like, which he's done. He's changed the algorithm, like, to boost whatever the fuck he wants. Like Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook, how they're, you know, not fact-checking things. You know, like, those are all, like, ways to kind of, like, releasing control in some way, you know, is like not, it is, could be just as bad as, you know, controlling, because now it's like technology unfortunately is dual use. It can be used for good and bad. So it's like you're letting in a way to the bad people, which, you know, I don't know. This is crazy though. Yeah, post-truth. Doesn't explain that because all data was unusable because of the rogue AI. Arasaka, having one of the largest backups of the net, could just write history as they want it and replace facts with lies without any data to prove them wrong. That's crazy. Yeah, that's just like Google. Think about, like, you know, these internet companies. Wikipedia. Like, if Wikipedia wanted, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, fortunately, some of the design, like, now it's like the designs are in a way, but like in the future, as corporations do gain control over more of the internet, which right now is kind of, you know, it's still decentralized, the internet, but it's still like we're going through data centers owned by big tech most of the time. That's crazy. It's cool. Cool story. Okay. Yeah, 61% of people view tariffs as harmful. Again, I think this is kind of just like a whatever, like this is just like vibes. Okay, how Trump's specific trade war with Canada? Well, it turns out 56% of the public oppose it, only 32% support it. Support. Somewhat oppose, strongly. Okay, so we have strongly support, somewhat support. Male white. Wow, who'd have thought? The people that support Trump. Oppose. Interesting. Immigration concerns at the southern border tend to resonate more with voters. But do they translate into popular support for Trump's tariffs on Mexico? The answer is a resounding no. The opposition to tariffs on Mexico is nearly as strong as opposition to tariffs on Canada. Dang. $32.56, $36.52. I mean, it's the same. 76% of Americans expect that prices will increase a lot or slightly from tariffs. Votaries? What? Almost nobody's buying it. 76% of Americans expect that prices will increase a lot or slightly from the tariffs. People who agree with the White House are in single digits. Yeah, increase a lot. 44. Not sure. I think this is the underrated answer because kudos to people who put not sure. I'll just say that. Like, I don't know. Will they? Will they not? How Americans rating the Trump admin's performance on the tariffs issue to date? Let's look at another poll from CBS. A clear 55% majority says that Trump is spending too much time pushing his tariff agenda, and 64% say he's neglecting inflation. This seems like a better indicator because I think Trump pretty much just won on the fact that he said he's going to fix inflation. And the fact that Joe Biden kind of caused inflation, people just made him dislike it because it's like, okay, you're a person who caused it, so like, how are you going to fix it? And I think, it's like, I think Ezra Klein, he's like, he believes that, like, he said that it's like, it's just a tariff or like inflation election. And I kind of agree. I think inflation is like probably the biggest driver in voting. And so I think that the fact that people are saying that they might be focusing on tariffs too much and not inflation could be an interesting like indicator, bellwether. The same poll also shows that voters are turning sharply against Trump on his handling of the economy. Yeah. Back in January at the inauguration, a plurality thought his policies would make them better off. Today, it's completely flipped, and a plurality now says they are worse off. So 42% in January expected to be better off, and now only 23% do. 28% thought in January thought they'd be worse off. Now 42% view they are worse off. This is okay. I actually think this is interesting because there's definitely like some I would say actually I don't want to say it. There's a percentage of people who just because Trump is president, they perceive that they're being better off. I feel like I talked about this on stream. They perceive that they're being better off just because they politically agree. And like, and it goes both ways where it's like, even though Democrats now might perceive that they're worse off just because a Republican's in office. Like there's definitely a percentage of that. The fact that this doesn't show, like, there's still a majority that think they're worse off. That's interesting. Brings a tear to my eye, yeah. There's also noticeable shifts against tariffs as Trump has carried through on his efforts to enact them. Here's a poll from the beginning of March also asking who bears the cost of tariffs. Most Americans agree correctly that the U.S. companies and U.S. consumers, yes, they pass on the pricing. Most companies and people in the country exporting products. Most companies and people in the U.S. Still 22% not sure. Respect. Yeah. Yeah. No, I gotta say. Yep. You voted for it. He said he was gonna do this, This is what he said. Believe it or not, Trump followed through on his word. How about experts then? It turns out most professional economists are deeply skeptical of tariffs as well. This experts-only survey found that almost nobody agreed with Trump admin's reciprocity claims. Matching U.S. import tariffs to the tariffs, value-added tax, and non-tariff barriers imposed on U.S. goods by other countries would substantially reduce the U.S. trade deficit. Okay, but again, there is a 43% were uncertain. But I guess no one agreed is the point, probably. Weighted by experts' confidence. Uncertainty is not good, though, I will say, especially for a business. That is what's caused. I feel like the uncertainty is actually like what's causing a lot of things to go up and down. Yeah, I'm uncertain that I'll be worse off, but I might be soon. Yeah, I think I'll be soon. Yeah. This dude, also, respect to this dude, because this dude fucking fights in the comments, bro. He's responding to everyone. Do you understand the difference between budget deficit and a trade deficit? The stock market is not the economy. GDP is only domestic production without tariffs. We are back to 2 trillion annual deficit. But hey, why not continue the progressive ways and burden all future generations? Do you understand the difference between the budget deficit and trade? Yeah. So tomorrow, fucking what? Princeton? You just targeted Harvard? Someone should write an AI just to argue with idiots in the comments like this. I'm convinced that most of these people are already AI, are already bots, bro. Texas for brains. Proud Texan, American who just wants to be left alone. Yeah. Pulling in fact bots. A threat of retaliation against the imposition of high tariffs on a country's exports substantially lowers the probability of a trade war. This one is in his oh shit, they actually show who answered. Holy shit, they actually got a bunch. I family text, one of them is Mexican, has to carry his passport and IDs with him out of fear. Bro, that is, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I have a cousin who's adopted from Guatemala, and my aunts told her to carry around like all this shit too. Yeah, I don't know, it's crazy. Okay, wait, let's just skim this.
It's a rebirth of a country, because how we could have afforded to do what we did. We help everybody, and they don't help us.
They do help us, bro. You think fucking China's manufacturing hasn't helped us? You know? You think us giving, you know, trying to stop diseases from spreading that will eventually make it to the United States doesn't help us? You know, it's like, it does. We've enjoyed the convenience of all of these, of this, you know, cheap labor, of offshoring, you know, of not using our land for certain things, of other countries sacrificing, you know, their potential growth to help, you know, to keep, you know, their economy running just so we could have our fucking, you know, cheap clothes and shit. Like, our shoes are manufacturing in like Southeast Asia for like shoes and shit. Like, I don't know. That's helped us. Granted, we're paying them, but still. I don't know.
I really, the term I like best probably is the liberation of America. It's the liberation of this country, because it's incredible. Look, we have 36 trillion in debt for a reason.
They said thank you. That was like Zelensky going on Twitter and like thanking everybody like after was like, it's like so funny. Yeah, do they wear suits? Yeah, right? That's what matters. Fucking
suits. Over a long period of time. So I think what you're going to be seeing over the next couple of days will be very inspiring to a lot of people. They're reciprocal. So whatever they charge us, we charge them, but we're being nicer than they were. We have a lot of countries, friend and foe. I always say friend and foe, but the friend in many cases is worse than the foe.
Trump's like, I like having, like, all my friends are my enemies.
They took advantage of us. And
he's like, I actually hate real friends. Enemies make the best friends.
We are going to be very nice.
He's like, it's somehow Trump, it's like the most basic human thing. He just like doesn't get, like, he's like, oh, all my friends are my enemies. Bro, what the fuck? Like, him saying that, bro? Like, like, if I was Trump's friend, I'd be like, what?
The numbers will be lower than what they've been charging us, and in some cases maybe substantially lower, but we sort of have a world obligation, perhaps.
And it's crazy that Trump sees, okay, like, this is like, if I was like more authoritarian like Trump, like, the fact that we control the world economy, he sees as a bad thing, you know? Be lizard brain, we're the reptilian, yeah. Literally. Trump somehow sees as a negative in controlling the world economy. I don't know. But that is actually what they kind of think, where it's like, yeah, the dollar's too valuable, or whatever the fuck.
But we're going to be very nice. Relatively speaking, we're going to be very kind.
Have you heard any concerns from the automakers, though, about the tariffs on parts that will go into effect over the coming weeks, about what that's going to mean for the price of...
Well, I gave them a big break for a month. I didn't charge them anything, you know.
See, and this is the thing. It's like, Trump is like, I didn't charge him anything. He's like, I let them off for a month. You know, it's like, so it's, in other words, he's like, what could they do for me? You know, it's like, I let them off for the month. It's like, what are they going to do?
For a big month, for that first month, and they brought a lot of material into this country because they could bring it in without tariff.
Like, bro.
If you look at...
This is also so crazy because it's the one time where corporations actually probably don't want to raise prices. They probably do, in a sense that they want the people to feel it so that they'll put pressure on the government, but like they don't, because prices are already expensive and high. And so I feel like they're just like, fuck, like, yeah, just fucking import everything, get shit in before the tariffs come. And that way we can push off raising prices for as long as possible until hopefully that the, you know, the things are kind of ironed out and the tariffs are gone. I guess, or yeah, they're just like, fuck it, passing on prices, blame, you know, and they're just gonna point blame to Trump. They're like, Trump did this, you know, it's like, I you know, hands off. Like, we had to raise prices.
Canada and Mexico, they were driving hundreds of thousands of cars into the market because they avoid the tariffs by doing it before the tariffs go on, which would be Wednesday.
Are you concerned that this move of the tariffs this week could push some of the United States' closest allies to work with China?
No.
Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. That's exactly what the EU is already doing. The EU is realizing, like, I think the big tech example that we kind of covered with Wired, where it's like, they're forcing companies to just be like, instead of paying, they're just like, why don't we just invest that money in our own economy and just build out our own shit so we don't have to rely on some fucking, you know, country that's going to have every 4 years some crazy president that's going to do some flip-flop bullshit, you know? It's like, in the EU with big tech, they're like, we can't rely on big tech anymore now that, like, there's potential security issues, so, like, let's just create our own big tech. Let's invest more in domestic technology instead of relying on, you know, the American technology industry. And I feel like that's going to be more and more. They're just, like, not going to play the game. Because it's a game after all. Trump's, like, you know, it's like he's trying to play it. But they're trying to, they're playing the game too. And right now, Trump's kind of losing because I think he expected it to be easier than it actually has been. And it's, you know, people are fighting back.
I'm not worried.
Countries are fighting back.
I'm not worried about it. Yeah.
Mr. President, can I ask you
I
about
think they have a
something?
chance of doing better, actually, with the tariffs. It can actually help them in a certain way. And I think a lot of
Explain.
people will drop their tariffs because, you know, they've been unfairly tariffing the United States for years. And if you look at the European Union on cars, the European Union already dropped their tariff down to 2.5%. It was announced a couple of days ago, which is what the which is a very small tariff. The United States charged very little.
Yeah, but, like, most places don't even charge tariffs is the thing. Like, it's not like they're using it as, like, a revenue driver. It's like Trump is, Trump is using tariffs for multi-use reason, but mainly he does need it to bring in money, which I mean it will. But like he actually needs it to bring in money because of all the cuts he wants if he doesn't want to keep expanding the deficit, which, you know. And so I think that like EU might be using it as a way to like as a tool or like whatever, but like Trump needs it for money and he needs it to be a tool.
I think I heard that India just a little while ago is going to be dropping its tariffs very substantially. And I said, why didn't somebody do this a long time ago? A lot of countries are going to be dropping their tariffs.
But most countries don't even have fucking tariffs, bro. All right, we'll save this. We'll just be tomorrow. Will be tariff day. Tariff day. Trump, look at them. They have no tariffs. No, yeah, literally, yay me, literally. Treasury yields. The fact that treasury yields have fallen, I think, is actually good because if it went up, then that probably means that people want less risk. So they're buying more treasuries because they think that the stock market will like go down or volatile. Because if it goes up, then that means people like want to put their money in something safer. President Trump doing avail sweeping tariffs. Oh, Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern? Oh, bro, it's not till later? Alright, whatever. We'll stream late tomorrow. So that's 1 p.m. Pacific. Alright, so tariff day starting. I'll find some content up until then, but I might start a little later then, and then we'll just kind of roll into this. What exactly you announced is unclear. He said late Monday he settled on a plan, but didn't reveal what it was. I'm sure his staffers are like begging to not say anything on April 1st. They're like, please, just wait one day. Don't release anything today. No one will believe it. So treasury yields dropped. Benchmark 10-year yields fell to around 4.15%, having settled around Monday. Yeah, and gold prices hit another record, and those active future contract notched an all-time trading high. I think gold is also generally when the stock market's being volatile, people go into like gold and silver and shit. Fuck. Alright, Wednesday 4 p.m. Cool. Alright, then I'll probably start stream probably like an hour later tomorrow. But I'm probably gonna end it here. I might come back in like a little bit and do a gaming stream. But I'm gonna end here. Might come back. I wanna play Minecraft so bad. So I might come back, play game stream. I wanna stream to my gaming YouTube channel. I feel like game streams hold a bit more evergreenness than news. Teamwork is getting in the way. Yeah. Bro, I literally someone needs to fucking make Severance, but like you're playing a game, but it's like contributing to like something more productive. Like I want to fucking feel like I'm playing a game, but like I'm like, you know, like doing something. Like I feel like the Minecraft world is like fulfilling this like fantasy that I've wanted in like a game or like whatever, where you could just like manage, like you could build trains and customize them. Cocaine. Yeah. Or maybe yeah, like Adderall. ADHD meds. But like I just want to like manage this logistics system. You could build it out. You have this expansive, never-ending world. You know, you could like now with mine colonies, you could kind of like do this like manage like, you know, colonies. You could like intertwine it. Like all this stuff is just like, and it's also just in a sandbox. Yeah, meth. Meth and Adderall are borderline the same thing, right? They're pretty much the same scientifically. But yeah, it's just been so fun. It's just, yeah, it's really fulfilling, this fantasy, and having, you know, like you here, like you're just, you know, you kind of bring the vision to life with the actually being good at building and stuff. So appreciate that. But yeah, it's just been fun. Just been really fun. Funnest I've had playing game in a while. Wow. All right, then I might be back. I'll stream it here on Twitch and potentially on the gaming YouTube. But if not, we'll be back tomorrow around 10 or 11 for Tariff Day, and then we'll watch the tariff announcement. But I'll find some reports and stuff, and we'll do some analysis, some tariff analysis. I had fun today. Covered some good topics. I always feel like I have a good stream when I cover topics that like either like learn something or I felt like I just had like a good analysis of it, you know, like I don't know, like it gets like sometimes it's like my satisfaction comes from how well like I do something, and that sometimes it sucks. All right, be back tomorrow between 10 and 11 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, variety helps too. I think variety helps too. 10 a.m. Pacific for Tariff Day. Appreciate everyone showing up, tuning in, watching. Got a new follower today on Twitch. Let's go. Bro, I just need 50 followers so I can get fucking affiliate. 50 followers and 3 people watching, or like average chatting or something. I swore I had affiliate, but I feel like that was on our Gamers Grove channel. Anyways, alright. See ya. Thanks for tuning in. Fucking old man big shoes guy. Oh yeah, and Infinity Discord. I forget about that Discord.